If you drive around Baton Rouge, you will see many people forced to live on the streets because they have nowhere to go. Neighborhoods that produce underprivileged kids and environments. But at Capital Area Alliance Center for the Homeless, they have somewhere to go to escape the harsh reality of their everyday lives. Poverty exists as a result of underdevelopment of countries, past family history, and the lack of governmental assistance. This is Ms. Mara Hediate, and she has been the volunteer coordinator here at the One Step Homeless Service Center in Baton Rouge for about 7 months. And she's going to be giving us an outlook on how important governmental assistance is when it comes to dealing with poverty and homelessness. My first question for you is, what is your opinion on the poverty and homeless rate?
The Here in Baton Rouge?
Yes,
okay. I think it's pretty tragic. It's actually, I think it's very sad that there are so many people in poverty in our city. And I think that a lot more could be done, a lot more awareness could be brought to the issue, so more people knew how sad it is. Also, just a fact, in Baton Rouge there are about 1,000 homeless people on the street every night.
Ma'am, do you feel some of the people here at the One Stop Center were not given a fair chance at life?
Definitely. I feel like most of the people here were not given a fair chance. And I think that the way that we tend to look at people in our society is unfair as well. A lot of the people here, started off from just tiny children growing up in extreme poverty, and when you grow up in that situation, it's very, very hard to get out of it, and it's not any fault of their own. It's an institutional and governmental problem,
yes,
and it's a societal problem, and until people in our society look at them as human beings, just like we are, the issue won't be able to change. Another thing that is very unfair, I think, in our society, especially for a lot of the people here, is that they have severe mental illness, and mental illness it's just a huge issue surrounding why a lot of people are poor and homeless. And I think there's such a stigma around mental illness, that people who have mental problems shouldn't be helped or given the same chances, and that's just not true. It's not right.
Especially when they have a lot of governmental restrictions and requirements to get the proper help.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people, when they can't be given that kind of help, they turn to other methods of helping themselves, like substance abuse, in an effort to self-medicate.
Do you feel the funds that are given to programs are not being used properly?
I don't feel that. I feel that they could be used better, for sure. I feel in general it's more the fact that there just aren't enough funds. But yeah, I do think that they could be used differently, and people, especially the homeless, could be helped a lot more. For example, I think a lot of the way we treat homeless and poverty right now is just aiding people who are homeless, helping people, but that kind of continues the cycle. We're not as focused on actually ending it. And if we could focus our efforts more on getting people into housing, and giving them a home before worrying about trying to solve the issues that they have, it could just be a lot better of a system. The funds could be used to get people into housing immediately, instead of paying for someone who's paying for medical bills or emergency shelters and things that help people but don't solve the problem. So if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much, Ms. Mara.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Good luck on your project.
I have Josh Clark, and he's going to give his point of view about growing up in a poverty-stricken environment. Do you feel your family past history has anything to do with you living in this neighborhood?
Yes, I feel my family has made some mistakes in their life. And yes, it's a big problem in which me living in this neighborhood. So yes,
Being where you are, do you feel you can reach your fullest potential?
I can reach my fullest potential if I put my mind to do my work, stay on my grind, do what I do.
I have here Miss Linda Crockett, and she works for the Department of Family and Children Services, where she has been working for 22 years. She currently works as a child welfare consultant, and we will be having a discussion regarding how poverty affects the service delivery in your profession.
Thank you, Kaysha. And just as she said, I do work for Department of Children and Family Services. I have been employed there for a very long time. The population that we serve, children and families, and our focus is keeping children safe. I have worked with child protection, and I've also worked with foster care in providing services not just to children but for families also.
With some of the cases you receive, does poverty play a huge factor in them?
Definitely, the cases that we receive, there is a very high incident of poverty across those lines. The parents usually make poor decisions when they don't have everything that they need to help them parent. Some of the areas that could be affected would be the housing, providing needs, basic needs, a place to stay, shelter, something to eat, clothes to wear. Those types of just basic things that you need, that children need. Education is affected. They need to go to school. Um, Social skills are affected because either they are maybe being around the wrong crowd, or they may not be around children their age at all to receive appropriate socialization. It affects their clothing, and it definitely affects how their parents supervise and provide parenting for them.
Do you feel some of the cases could have been avoided or prevented?
I do always think that a case could have been avoided or prevented. It depends on what kind of tools you're working with, what kind of family situation, what kind of environment that you're living in. And then also, if you are living in poverty, I think it affects your thinking, your skill level, your decision making. So it could have been avoided, but once it comes to us, we have to deal with it, and we have to begin to put those services in place to help that family. And we're hoping that even the services, maybe we need to provide some parenting to help them nurture their kids. Maybe we need to put some therapy in for certain situations or whatever. And we're hoping that the services that we put in can increase, and with that, it'll help them make better decisions. It'll help the parent make better decisions or make them less susceptible to it.
On a more personal level, how did you make sure that you're successful?
Successful in my profession. I take my profession very seriously. It's a job that involves your heart as well as your head. Your head knowledge, but you also need to have a heart that you want to help people and you want to see things better for them and want to see them improve. I think it's so strange that you asked that question, because I just left H&R Block before I came here, and their sign in there was "Don't settle for less." And I just sat there and stared at it. Don't settle for less. And I was thinking about it in reference to my own life, or maybe things that I may be thinking about or doing or want to achieve. And I had no idea that you would ask this question today. Do you think people settle? I do think people settle. And not just people, myself sometimes also, because sometimes it's just too hard to go to the next level, to do the thing that you need to do to change. It's what you've known, and I'm traumatized to try to do a change or make anything better for myself. But I think that you have to push. You need someone, a support system, because sometimes you don't have the ability to pull yourself up by the bootstraps yourself. You just don't have it. Sometimes you need the church, you need close friends, you need family, you need parents, you need teachers or whatever to help you and push you and tell you, yes, you can do it, yes, you should do it, this would be better for you, this will improve your situation. And I think if you can do that, you will feel better about yourself.